Hey guys, what's up? Thank you so much for joining me today. This is Philosophy. So today's video is going to be a November 2021 Networth update, as well as a little chat. In these videos, I update my numbers from the previous month, as well as give you guys some updates on my personal life that relate to fire, but also just kind of random things. Let's get into it. So just to recap from October 2021, my net worth last month was $144,285. So first up on the list is the equity that I currently have in the 2 condos that I own. And just so you guys know, if you haven't seen my other updates, I don't include the increase in property value in either of these, but they have gone up about $50,000 since I purchased both earlier this year. So the current equity that I have in both of these properties is about $81,000. This is up just about $1,000 from last month, and that of course comes from my mortgage payments on both properties. Next up on the list is my Sun Life DCPP. This is through work, and the current balance of that account is $6,244. This is an increase of I think about $600 or $700 from last month, but I'll put up on the screen here exactly what the change was. This is from a little bit of money that goes in off of my paychecks at work, as well as the match. Next up is my TD RRSP, and the current balance of that account is $47,734. This is an increase of about $300, and once again, I'll put up on the screen exactly what the change was. This is only from market increases. I don't currently put money into this account because I am saving for school, if you haven't seen my other videos. And I also have a TFSA with TD, and the current balance of that account is about $1,370. I own about 5,000 shares in one company called Cielo Waste Solutions. It's not doing really well right now, so my plan is just to hold it until hopefully mid next year, or maybe the end of next year when they're a little bit further along on their path. I'd like to at least break even on the amount that I put into this. I'm in for about, I think, $4,700. So as you can see, it's only worth about $1,400 right now. It's gone down quite a bit since I bought shares earlier this year. And I also have $4,000 in cash. This is for school savings for next year, but also for the rest of this year, just to kind of float me through until January 2022, which is when I'm going to be getting some money out of my RRSPs, and I'll go into that a little bit later in the video. And then finally, my vehicle is valued at about $5,000. I have no plans to sell it, but I do like to keep it in my net worth just for consistency purposes, because I have been keeping it in my net worth updates every month since I started these videos, really. This brings us to a total net worth of $145,350 for November 2021. This is an increase from October 2021 of about $1,065, and the increase mainly comes from the market, although I did put a little bit when I just matched my DCPP contributions at work. So that was probably about $200 or $300 of that, and then my employer matches the same, so you could say it's like half and half market gains and just putting money into my DCPP. So I'm getting really close to that $150,000 milestone, although I did quit my job this month. So I had my last day of work last Monday, and I am gonna be starting to draw down some of my portfolio. So I'm not expecting to hit that $150,000 mark anytime soon. Although if the market is doing really well and the one stock that I do have 5,000 shares of does well, it's possible that I might hit that $150,000 mark this year, which would be really, really sweet. I had no clue, no kind of expectation that I was going to be even near $150,000 at this point in my life or in my journey, but we'll see what happens. So let's get into what my plans are for the rest of this year and next year. So I did decide to quit my job a little bit earlier than school. School starts mid-January for me next year, and I thought I would take some time off just to focus on some more creative things and also just get a little break in between this huge change in my life. I've never really done something like this where I've taken deliberate time off in between jobs. Usually I give 2 weeks notice and then I start like the following Monday at the new job. Since I was 14, I've been working at least part-time, and I've had a full-time job since right after high school. So this is something very new to me, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm like a little bit anxious about drawing down my portfolio for the first time. And I have prepared for it, but I am going to be taking money out of my RRSPs in 2022 to cover my living expenses for school. I did get student loans for the course that I'm going into, about $60,000. The amount that I got from student loans is like just enough to cover the actual school expenses. I don't have any extra to cover living expenses. So I'm gonna be taking about $10,000 out of my RRSPs. And it's kind of nerve-wracking a little bit to have been working for like 7 years, building up this net worth and getting to all these milestones, to now kind of be switching things. And I mean, I'm essentially spending like $70,000 in the next 6 months to follow my dream of becoming a helicopter pilot. So it's crazy. Like, I've been on this fire path. I've been so focused on just growing my net worth and kind of climbing the corporate ladder and getting more money in my bank account and looking towards like an early retirement. So this is going to be really interesting. I'm going to be shocked, I think, in the next few months of how my portfolio changes, because I don't know, I've just never drawn it down, and we're going to see if maybe there won't even be a change. If I'm lucky enough, if the market's doing well, maybe the amount that I'm taking out is going to be like negligible because the market gains are going to cover it. I honestly have no idea. So, I mean, join me for the next 6 months and seeing how it goes, because I'm definitely taking a different path than like traditional fire at this point. So with the $10,000 I'm taking out of my RRSP, I'm just going to take it out just normally. There is something called an LLP, which is a lifelong learners plan that you can do, which basically means that you can take the money out of your RRSP without having any kind of penalty or having to pay any tax on it. And you have 10 years to pay it back into your RRSPs. I did a bit of research on doing this, and it seemed like it wasn't really beneficial to use the LLP, because as you pay back that money, like if you take out 10 grand and you start to pay it back over that 10-year period, the contributions you put back into it don't actually count for anything. Like, you can't deduct it from your tax return. So I've decided to just take the money out, pay regular tax on it, because I don't expect to be making any money, very little money, if any, next year, because I have 6 months of school until about June, and then there will be 6 months where I'm looking for a job as a pilot. If I'm lucky, I'll get one right away. If not, it might take a few months to really get into the groove and find something. So I have decided to just take it out of my account. That way, when I do put money back into my RRSPs, I can still deduct that from my tax return and my taxable income. And that's kind of the biggest benefit to RRSPs. And another thing is that when I do take that $10,000 out, I will lose that contribution room forever. However, I do think that where I'm at right now, I'm at Coast Fire pretty well, including the CPP and OAS payments. I've used the government calculator quite a few times, and even removing $10,000 now doesn't really make a big difference. I do plan on still contributing to my RRSPs in the future once I get a job and get like a match and all of that kind of stuff. Plus, I have 2 properties, and I'm not too concerned about not being able to reach at least traditional retirement. This is the whole purpose of me going after kind of like a lifelong dream of becoming a pilot, is that I want to be able to work until traditional retirement, or possibly even past that. My goal is totally different now. I don't really have my eyes on retirement at all. I just want to find work that I absolutely love doing and can do it for quite a long time. I'm still like 35 years away from traditional retirement, so that is plenty of time to try a few new careers and just kind of do whatever I want, and it's very exciting. Something I wanted to mention is another YouTube channel that I recently discovered. It's called 2 Sides of Fi. I'm going to link it down below so you guys can check it out if you haven't heard of this channel. It's 2 guys kind of going back and forth, discussing fire, their experience, and just kind of talking about different topics. I found it like really awesome. It's sort of like a podcast style YouTube channel if you're into that, and highly recommend it. Really cool. I like to just throw it on and kind of do something else while I'm listening to them. Awesome channel, and yeah, go check them out because they're great. Another thing I wanted to chat to you guys about is travel. I've mentioned this in past videos where, because I'm taking time off in between my previous job and school, I was considering doing a bit of traveling, and I have booked a couple of trips. I'm going to Ottawa in a little while, as well as Banff, more like mini weekend trip kind of things. But I've had my eyes on New York for the last month, just trying to see when there's going to be like a seat sale, and maybe I can pop over there for like a week, like a Monday to a Friday kind of thing, because it's a lot cheaper, and just kind of explore the area. I've always wanted to go to New York, and I don't know, it just seems like a really good time for me to do something like that. I've also had my eyes on going back to Vancouver or Victoria, maybe even Jasper. There's a few places that are kind of more local, things that I could just do a road trip to and just kind of explore a different city. But part of me also wants to explore the city that I'm in now, hit up a couple like coffee shops during the day and just go and chill, study for school next year, which I am trying to spend a little more time doing now, as well as just reading through a bunch of manuals, getting kind of prepped for the whole school experience. So that is pretty much it for the November 2021 Networth update. Thank you so much for joining me today. Thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate you guys watching my videos. Leave me a comment down below about how you're doing on your journey. And if you have any advice, comments, maybe even travel tips or destinations that you guys would think would be a really cool spot for me to go by myself and just kind of explore. Any kind of city that's like really good for walking around, relaxing, studying, going to parks. This is why I think New York would be like amazing. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.